You're now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show.
Yeah.
And so for you, what was it like getting your publishing deal, working on Mission Possible, and everything that came after that?
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting because I think when it came to the book, I didn't really appreciate it that much back then. Whereas now it's flipped. I know the power of a really good book. Whereas back then it was almost like I wanted to publish it because we've got all of these stories and we've got sort of life lessons learned from the extremes that can be placed in sort of everyday life, you know. So it's a really good sort of lessons to the book that I felt that if people read, they'll take something from it. So it's not just about, you know, me and my adventures. It's what they can take from it and utilize certain aspects of that to help themselves in career or life or whatnot. So I was excited for that point, but I almost felt like I rushed it because I had a big UK theatre tour coming up. And so we condensed it, and I think we tried to get it out within, write it and print it. I've got a feeling it was 5 months, which that's fast, right?
That's fast.
That's too fast. But we did that just so that we could sell extra copies on the UK theatre tour. So I want to do another book for sure, because there isn't one on the Yangtze, there isn't one on the Great Wall of China. And now it will come from a point of sort of spending over a year and like making sure it's not that Mission Possible is a bad book, it's a good book, lots of reviews, lots of people enjoyed it, but it could have been so much better. And like my girlfriend, when she was reading it, she said she's a huge bookworm. She loves book reads like all the time. She said it's great, but you kind of breeze through the Gobi Desert. You don't say how you almost died and what that felt like, and you don't explain the temperature. And now that it was like pulling a concrete block through hell, you don't explain how it was sinking in and what your organs were doing, how you felt them drying up, and that you went over a week without seeing a single human. And I'm like, yeah, looking back now, because to me it was a case of I did it. It was hard. I got it done. But people want to know that process, you know? And so, yeah, I need to republish that one, really. Republish it or do a new one, and I'll be able to focus in. But it did help. I think it just provides more kudos as well, doesn't it? Having a published book out there. You know, and it's something you can promote and be proud of and sell during talks, or, you know, if people want to know more about sort of your background and how you did whatever you're doing, they can just read the book and that might help them on their way. So it was great to get it out there.
Yeah, fantastic. And I get this all the time with authors we work with that come to us and say, I want to publish a book like in 3 months. And I'm like, look, the publishing process is kind of fixed, the timeline.
Yeah.
It's how fast it gets written. So whether you write it, ghostwrite it, you know, it's about that. And I think I love that you mentioned about the UK tour, though, because one of the things I'm always saying to authors, because we specialize in speakers, podcasters, and entrepreneur books.
Right,
so the people like us, people that have talks, that have a place they can share their book, whether it's podcast, TV, whatever.
Got you.
And I always say to people, be strategic. Like the fact that you had that UK tour lineup made sense. So if I was a publisher, I could totally relate why. And I can imagine now why you've got that.
Yeah.
But the good thing is knowing in advance of like, right, we're going to give a year for this. And also, let's be honest, you've got other exhibitions planned. It's not like you can, you know, write in your, you know, in the mornings or whatever, depending on what other stuff. Keeping yourself alive is a huge part of your business model, you know.